All right, we're live. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the GetGrowing weekly work session with GetOiling. This is the almost Valentine's Day edition and the week of Mondays, where every day feels like Monday. We're joined today by the whole GetOiling team and special guest Jacque McLaughlin, Platinum in YL, here to share with you a special, fantastic training today. But first, round of hellos, starting with founders Greg and Amanda.
Hey everyone, we're very excited you're here. We've got lots of good, Jackie's got lots of good information today. So yeah, enjoy.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's session. I am happy that the sun is shining because it has been like negative 40-degree wind chills in North Dakota. So it has been super cold. So the sunshine is a wonderful addition to this Thursday. So we hope you guys are enjoying your days as well. So welcome, Jackie.
Thank you.
Awesome. And Kim, how are you doing this week? We don't get to see you on all of our sessions. Say hello.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Happy almost Valentine's Day. This is such a fun day already because my audio is working finally. That doesn't happen every week, so I'm super excited. I hope you guys are excited to be here. Special guest, Jackie, this is going to be so fun to talk to you. Also, the weather here makes it our job of staying inside and answering your guys' questions so much better, so much more fun. So we are happy to be here, and I'm excited for today.
Awesome. All right, Jackie, if you want to say a quick hello, we are going to be interviewing you here shortly, but you're in North Carolina, right?
Yes, and we have been drowning in rain. It should be snowing, but we're having so much rain. Although I'm so thankful, gratitude for no rain right now. It was raining this morning and it's moved out. It's headed up northeast. Sorry, guys.
oh yeah, we have it here, and I see you bragging in Florida, but the DC and New York folks in the chat here, they know what's up. They heard that I'm going to Seattle next week and wanted to give me a preview of the weather. So it was like the sun was out for like 10 minutes yesterday, and I was like, I'm taking my calls outside. Anyway, all right, guys, thank you so much for being here. We're excited to have you. If you have any questions, this is an open work session. We will have a special training again from Jackie, our special guest here today, and then we will get into sort of open season questions. If you came here with something that that was maybe frustrating or difficult or challenging for you, and you want to get some help getting through it, whether it relates to software or the strategy in your business, go ahead and start putting those questions in the Q&A, and we will get to them at the end of our call. So panel, let's go ahead and turn off our videos, and I'm going to share our slides and get on with the show. All right, if this will let me stop my video. Hello. Well, goodness, how do I do that? And it won't escape. I'm sorry, guys. Hang on just a second.
Well, do I need to do something with mine?
Well, you know what? Like I'm not getting a response from this. Like Zoom won't respond to me. There we go. There we go. I'm sorry. I did it. All right, so Jackie, just click the little video icon down at the bottom of your screen and we'll be good to go. Okay, it is a week of Mondays. Hello. Thursday here today. All right, so welcome again. This is the GetGrowing weekly work session. Special guest today, we're going to talk about how to double your essential rewards. Who wants to learn how to do that? Show of hands. Who wants to double their essential rewards percentage? Everybody, because that's magic, right? So today, I want to welcome you if you're new here. If you've never been here before, these are totally free and open. You do not have to be a GetOiling member to take advantage of these trainings. They're designed to help you grow your Young Living business. So we come here every single week to show up and share and help if you need it. So feel free to come back every week. GetOiling.com/weekly work session if you're watching this as a recording after we're live broadcasting, if you ever want to join us live. All right, so let's talk about what we're going to do today. First, we've got our special guest training from our GetOiling community. You're going to talk about how to double your essential rewards. And it's just 3 steps, and it's actually kind of simple when you think about it. And you're going to learn this from Jackie, who is a Young Living Platinum, whose team is doing this successfully. So, I mean, it's not just oh, this seems like it works, but she's got the receipts. Now, we're also going to talk about the tools that she uses with her team specifically and how you can get your hands on them. And then we're going to take Q&A. All right, so if you've got questions and you need help with anything related to your business, put that over in the Q&A now, and we'll hit you up in the Q&A section of the call. All right, so today we're going to talk with our special guest trainer, Jacque McLaughlin. She is, like I mentioned, a Young Living Platinum. She has 40 years of experience as an entrepreneur. She was in business for herself before she discovered Young Living, became super passionate about residual income, and decided to blow it out with a team, right? She is a creator of the Rank Up Intensive. We'll talk a little bit about what that is on our call today. It's something that she created exclusively for her team that's getting them some pretty crazy results. She's also the creator of what she calls compelling conversations, which is really a fascinating thing that I think you guys are going to get a lot of value from, especially when you start applying this compelling conversation technique in your life, not just in your business, in your life. All right, she's going to show you this simple, no-nonsense path to getting those results that you want in Young Living and beyond, because this is a mindset shift in terms of the way you communicate. The results are a domino effect across your life, and we'll talk more about what that looks like. And guys, this works for anyone, anywhere, any age, any location, anything, right? No matter where you are, no matter your background, this will work for you. This is one of those tried and true, carve it in stone, it'll work forever kind of techniques. So I hope that you have something to write with, and I hope that you turn off all of your distractions because you're going to want to hear what she has to say. This lady gets straight to the point and she knows what she's talking about. All right, so let's have a vocabulary check, can we? Can we, Jackie?
Yes.
Please tell us about what relationship business is. Actually, quick show of hands. How many of you have heard that Young Living is a relationship business? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, we're a lot. Okay, cool. All right. So Jackie, tell us about the relationship business and
Yes.
What do they need to know?
Yeah, well, you know, that's like a big, broad term, and what we need to do is hone it down specifically to how it relates to us in Young Living for our business. And Young Living is a network marketing company. Yes, I belonged to others in the past. This one is different, and most everybody in here probably recognizes that and already understands that most network marketing companies may offer one or two products, and you know, you're either wanting those products or you're not, and that's what draws you to them. In Young Living, we have over 600 products. We've got something for everyone. So if you're going to figure out what people want and need, you have to create a relationship with them. You have to get them to talk to you, open up to you, tell you what their pain points are so that you can help them find the products that give them that aha experience. And when they have an aha experience, it's like you've got all your own testimonials, right? This did that for me and this did that for me. You need to help them find what's going to do what for them, because that's what relationship business is all about in a nutshell.
That's right. So, I mean, people can kind of learn like what it means, but do you feel like most people really understand how to apply it to business?
No, they don't. And you know, we say it's a relationship business, so people reach out on social media and they try to create relationship that way. My personal view of that is you can find people that have like interests, and that's where you start. So social media is amazing for finding those leads and finding people that are looking for something. But when you want to create that relationship piece, you've got to connect. And social media is not necessarily the way you're going to connect. I mean, it's possible, but it takes a lot of work. When you want to connect with people, you really have to have a conversation, a personal one-on-one conversation that builds trust and helps them really connect to you so that they know that you're really looking out for them. They say, you know, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And they're not going to know how much you care until you create this connection through relationship.
Oh, guys, can we say that a little louder for the people in the back? People are not going to care about what you know until they know about how you care.
Yep.
Woo, love that. All right, let's talk about this. Now, this might be something that's not as familiar to everyone. So who here knows what open-ended questions are? or have maybe been trained on you know, an idea of what open-ended questions are? We got a couple. All right.
Yeah.
So I know that this is, it's kind of hot words right now. We're seeing a little bit of this going around, which is good, right? But what's your take on open-ended questions, and how does your approach maybe differ from some of you know, what else is out there?
Yeah, well, the simple definition of an open-ended question is it's any question that can't be answered with a yes or a no. But to really understand what that means, it's an open-ended question is a question that is a provocation, or it invites someone to think about the question and give you a thoughtful answer that is meaningful to them. And so the way these work in our business and in our relationships and in our lives, because this is something that when you actually learn how to do it and practice it and make it become your default communication, it will change your relationships everywhere, not just in your Young Living business. You'll find you can get your kids to do things you couldn't get them to do before. You'll find your spouse relates to you better. You'll find that it just goes across the board and everywhere if you learn to make it your default.
Oof. Oh,
So,
I love that. That sounds like some unicorn sauce. Let's hear it.
yeah. So when you ask questions that require people to dig into their own selves to give you an answer, you're going to get different kinds of responses. So, you know, if I asked you, you know, is it raining outside? You know, your answer is going to be yeah. And you might expand on that by saying cats and dogs. But if I ask you something like, what does it do to your life when it's raining outside? Now they're thinking about, well, crud, I can't take a walk. It's a pain in the butt to let the dog out. It's this, it's that. Now you're getting them to express and recognize in their own mind what it is about the rain that makes them unhappy.
Wow.
So
you're really inviting depth here with this. So today we're actually going to talk about how you can use this way of thinking and asking questions to help you grow essential rewards. Yeah. So want to get into your 3-part process because it really is, I mean, you really like things to be simple and straightforward. Like you don't have time to play around.
No.
So part 1 of your strategy is that open-ended question. So I know from you that these are really the top level ways that you teach the open-ended questions format. So what does this kind of look like across the spectrum, right? Open-ended questions for these different categories: prospects, product users, casual sharers, and business builders.
Yeah, you're going to have what I teach when I'm working with my team members, and I've actually created this whole course that helps us break this down into these 4 categories because it's specifically for my team members, right? And so we talk about specific types of questions that you might ask a prospect or a product user or a casual sharer or a business builder to create more relationship with them on those levels. So if I'm talking to a prospect, I want to find out what their pain points are. So I'm going to ask questions that reveal that. If I'm talking to product users, I want to ask questions that reveal what they love already and the pain points so that I can help them find more great experiences through the products. If I'm talking to a casual sharer, I want to ask open-ended questions that reveal to me, you know, did they successfully get someone signed up? You know, by casual sharers, we mean maybe they signed up a few people, but they're not really doing the business, if you will. So we're going to find out how they did that comfortably so we can help them do that more and maybe get their products paid for. And then with business builders, we're going to teach them how to communicate with their team members, their prospects, their leaders, so that they make them all better at what they do.
Oh, I love that. So would you say, but maybe before you started using this approach, that you know, that maybe you might have seen more of the sort of kidnapper phenomenon in your business, or at least in that of your members and sharers on your team?
Absolutely. Before I started teaching this, and you know, it was really kind of funny, Ashley, I learned this over time in my other businesses, just how to communicate with people to get what I wanted. And when I started, and when I would talk to people, I had great success, but my team members weren't having that same success. And I realized this is something I needed to teach them. And so it literally changes everything when you can help people discover this way to communicate. It doesn't matter what they're doing. I've got people that have learned it that are saying it changes the way they teach in a university.
Mm-hmm.
It's just life-changing when you learn how to communicate in this way, because people open up to you differently.
That's amazing. All right, so then let's talk about the second part of the thing here, right? So first, we're going to ask those more open-ended questions, and guys, we're going to actually show you some of what that looks like, and give you a sneak peek at some workbooks that Jacque uses that you can get at the end of this call. But the first part of this process is applying that open-ended question to each of these categories. Right? So instead of going to a prospect and saying, hey, did you like the class? If they came to your class, you would ask something that is not a yes or no, right? So like, so then with a product user, which is, we're going to be focusing on that today. It's not just, do you like that oil? Or did you like that? Or do you have your ER set up for this month, right? It is way more specific and demands more specific answers. So Jacque, once you ask the open-ended question and the conversation, just to kind of give people a picture of how this flows, right? Because this is a flow, I think is how you describe it. So once you ask those open-ended questions, the second part here is painting the picture. So how do those things kind of move together? And what does that look like?
Yeah, a lot of people understand the concept of, let's say you're talking to a prospect, and you said something like, if there was one thing in your life that you could change and it would improve your life, what would that be? That could be an open-ended question that you're trying to find out. What are their pain points? And a lot of people know how to do that, but that's where they stop. Mm-hmm. You don't take it to the next level where you're painting a picture of what if. So if they tell me, I just wish that I could get a decent night's sleep. And if I launch right then into, oh, well, you should try this or that, that's a big salesy, big no button, no way. They're just already getting their defense mechanisms up. But if I help them paint a picture of, well, what if you did get a good night's sleep? What would that do for you? And then they'll say something like, well, I'd probably wake up feeling rested and more energetic, and maybe I wouldn't be such a grouch in the morning, and I wouldn't be starting my day off in a bad mood. And so you get them to verbalize what their life would be different if they did get a good night's sleep. And then you could ask them something along the lines, if I could show you how other people have gotten a good night's sleep that really works, would you be interested in learning more? And then they're like, yeah, because you just helped them remember by verbalizing how bad it is. So we just gloss over things and say, I just don't sleep well. Well, help them paint that picture of just how bad that is. Help them realize or remember how that affects their life in a negative way before you start trying to give them a solution. Because if you help them realize all the negative aspects of that, now they really want to know what you have. Mm-hmm. And then, because they really want it bad now, when they realize the enormity of it all, price is no longer an issue, because what's that worth to you? If I could show you how to get that good night's sleep and eliminate all these negative side effects, what would that be worth to you? Well, it's priceless, man.
Wow. Guys, show of hands. Is this clicking for you? Are you seeing how this can help you get more people without you having to convince them or feel like you're pitching them? Oh, look at those hands. Look at those hands going up. Before we move into and kind of show everybody the worksheets that you use, maybe let's just kind of do like a quick role play as this would pertain specifically to you talking to a member who you would want to help get onto Essential Rewards.
Yeah.
Right? So starting with the open-ended questions, obviously focusing here on the product user, let's just pretend that maybe I'm the product user.
Okay, so
how would that go?
Tell me, what's your favorite product that you use on a regular basis from Young Living?
I would have to say frankincense oil.
Oh, I love frankincense. Tell me, why do you love it?
You know, I deal with a reasonable amount of stress, but it tends to like manifest physically for me. So so I can get really tense, and it's really one of the only things that I've found that really just kind of helps me chill out, and you know, and sleep better, and it's just really good for my skin too. So
Yeah, awesome. So tell me, you're married and you've got kids and animals, what are some of the other issues in your household that either you or people in your family deal with that you would love to see improve?
well, I mean, on the stress front, with me being kind of an empath, I kind of process my husband's stress, and he's a chef in New York City. He's got a super stressful job, so I mean, it would be good for me, and of course for everyone. I think if he were able to manage and sort of support that a little better, if things weren't quite, if he didn't feel quite so tense, and he could, you know, more easily relax.
What do you think would happen to him, and what would that be like for you if he was to find the perfect product that helped him manage that stress and helped him, diffuse, if you will, defuse the stress factor in his life? Because how does that manifest for him? What's when he's under stress, what's that like?
Well, I mean, it's a domino effect. I mean, I know you told me that you've struggled with autoimmune issues and things like that in the past. Like anyone knows who has issues like that like there's like when you get stressed out, it has ripple effects on other systems of the body.
Yeah.
And so he experiences those, right? And so they're pretty wide ranging, and you know, and they can be pretty severe. And you know, it breaks my heart to see it happening. You know, I feel kind of helpless, and obviously he would rather not feel that way, you know?
Yeah. Well, if I could show you something that has worked for me and other people, that has really turned my life around when it comes to managing stress. I know my husband, when he was working as a guidance counselor for a high school, and he was the only counselor, he was under a tremendous amount of stress, and probably not unlike your husband. He, not to categorize people, male and female, but men tend to repress those things and just stuff them away and
oh yeah, bottle it up. Yeah.
and bully through, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, my husband was doing that, and all of a sudden one day at work they thought he was having a heart attack, and they called an ambulance, and he went to the hospital, and they ran tests and said, your heart's great, you're under stress, go see your doctor. Doctor wanted to put him on antidepressants. He came home to me and said, I don't want to take these. Do you think the oils could help? So we found one oil that totally changed everything for him. If I could show you how to do that with your husband, would you be interested in learning more about it?
Obviously.
And what would it be worth to you if he could find an oil or some other product that he could just magically bring all that into a manageable state?
I mean, well, magic, that would be amazing. That would be life-changing.
Yeah. Well, let's set up a time we can talk about that, because we're not going to do that today.
Right. All right, guys. All right, so you're seeing how that worked, right? Show of hands. You're seeing how, instead of trying to dig or diagnose, you know what I mean? Like what you're doing is you're listening, and you're asking more questions, and you're asking more questions. And it's a flow of questions, right? What if? Well, if I could show you. And at each stage, she's getting feedback from me. She's getting confirmation from me that I am ready for that next level of questions. Guys, if you could use something like this to help you, would you use it? Oof. All right. So that was what that was.
Susan said in the chat, it's so natural. That's exactly it, Susan.
Yes.
You hit the nail on the head. It has to be natural, and it has to flow. It's not a script, and it's not a canned conversation. This is a natural, ask some open-ended questions, listen, and go where the conversation takes you.
That's right. Jackie felt like a consultant here, not a salesperson, right?
Yeah.
So important. All right, so let's look at this in action. Who wants to see what these flows look like? This is what you're gonna get, what we're gonna give you here for free at the end of this call and below the video for the recording. All right, so Jackie, tell us about our open-ended question flows here. I know this is a part of your sort of master workbook set for this thing that you've done with your team, but tell us about what we're looking at right here.
Well, this is a little sort of conversation flow example that I've created in my workbook that helps people realize how, you know, you're looking for in your Young Living business, you're looking for people that are going to get on ER because, hello, essential rewards is residual income. If you're just selling kits, that's sales. That's just the beginning. Once you get them in, whether it's with a basic kit or a premium starter kit or whatever kit, once you get them as a wholesale member, it's so important for you to move them into essential rewards because that's where your residual income comes from. If they're on essential rewards, those are repeat orders every month that you don't have to resell. Now, if you don't have them on essential rewards yet, you've got to have these compelling conversations with them to help them discover why they might want to try other products and that essential rewards is the best bang for their buck. And so these are the kinds of open-ended questions we talk about them in the course that I teach to help you know how to do that and help you uncover the needs of the people that are already in your team, or if you're talking to a new member, uncover their needs enough that they want to get on essential rewards right away. So whether you're talking to a prospect or someone in your team that's not on ER, these are the kind of questions you're going to ask them to get them to see the value and want to invest in it because it's the best bang for their buck.
There it is. There it is. All right. So this is one of the things you guys are going to get as a download today. This is the product user discovery flow. And this is really, and Jackie, I would love for you to kind of walk through and tell us how this would be used to help people kind of guide themselves after this call in conversations with their members. Because would you say that these are sort of like those open-ended questions or like the prompts for the open-ended questions?
Yeah, like the product discovery flow is going to be, like I mentioned earlier, a question like if you could change something in your life that would give you a better quality of life, what would it be? Or, you know, once they tell you that, then how do you feel this is affecting your life? And you're going to dig deeper. And if you could eliminate it, how would your life be different? And what would that be worth to you? Those are the kind of questions that we ask as we are talking to prospects to try to discover. That's what this discovery flow is about. We're trying to discover what their needs are so that we can then carry the conversation to the next step to help meet those needs.
Those are really powerful questions. You guys can see these, right? And of course, you'll be able to, if you can't see them, understand we got a download for you that you'll get here in the comments shortly. And then, of course, below the video as on the recording. Cool, cool. All right. So then we've also included here the qualifying questions, right? Because this isn't just about opening the door with the open-ended ones. Those questions that you were continuing to ask me through that conversation we just had as an example, those were qualifying questions, right? Like you used some of those there.
Yeah.
And how do you use these when you are, working to move someone toward essential rewards?
Yeah, if somebody's telling me that, you know, they've got all these issues and I've finally gotten to the point where I'm ready to try to help them, you know, I'm going to ask them qualifying questions like, what do you see is there anybody else that you need to consult before you can make a decision about this? Or, you know, what kind of results in your life would change this for you? And what's your budget, or what could you come up with for your budget? Because if we're going to help people, we have to help them where they're at. And the qualifying questions help us discover, is this somebody that is like all in, or are they just going to try one thing and see if that helps? Because if they're going to try one thing and see if that helps, you better find the most powerful thing to get them some results. And then you might be able to help them get into other products that will get them better results. But if sometimes you meet people that say, I would do anything if I could get rid of this. And, so their budget might be a little bit more expansive, and you want to work with them where they are. And the way you find out is with these kind of qualifying questions. Who else is involved in the decision? If you're talking to them on a continual base, what's changed since the last time we talked? You tried this product. What are the results that you've gotten so far? What concerns do you have? You want to keep the conversation going. You don't just do this once and then forget about them. And that, my friend, is where many people are dropping the ball, is that, you get them on ER and then you forget about them. You need to keep having conversations with people, especially you're personally enrolled, so that you're continually helping them find more aha moments with their Young Living account and their products.
Wow. Hey, who here, with a show of hands, would love to have sort of in your back pocket a true red personality go-getter type, like to have basically their dialogue of questions that you can follow, right? How many of you actually don't have these things that just come to mind for you when you're in conversations? You need a reminder of things like this. This is going to be really, really helpful to you. And guys, Jacque, would you say, like, when you do your care calls, these are the kinds of questions that you're asking, right?
Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm doing. And I do them on a regular basis, because if I don't stay in touch with my personally enrolled people and help them continue to get the best value from their Young Living account, I have failed in my duty to them. They signed up with me because they know, like, and trust me. They expect me to be there for them in the future. This is not a sign them up and leave them and move on. This is the part of a relationship business we were talking about earlier. That relationship means that you're going to continue to stay in touch with them. That's when you do that, they never drop off Essential Rewards. Because if you leave them with the first order they order, let's say you got them on Ninja Red and they're ordering that every month, and then that's all they're ordering every month, but they're still ordering Ninja Red every month. Are you kidding me? If they love Ninja Red and they're seeing the value, and you have a care call with them and you start opening up other things in their life, that you might open them up to the Thieves products or the personal care products or the supplements or whatever, you could have even bigger impact on their life. And when you open them up to see all the different ways that Young Living can improve their life, not just one, don't you think they're going to start sharing with other people just by default? I mean, they're going to start talking about it. If it's everything in their house is Young Living because they see the value in it, whether they call themselves a business builder or not, they're going to be talking about it to other people.
That is so powerful. And to that point, again, guys, kind of going back to this idea of this not being you coming from being a salesperson needing to get them to buy things to make a check, right? From that perspective, this page here inside of Jacque's a workbook here that you're going to get, this particular set of questions, Jacque, is really kind of designed to help you deepen relationships generally, even outside of just talking about products, right?
Yes, absolutely. That's the feedback that I'm getting from my team members that are working with me on this is always includes that in a big way. The two things they say the most is, all of a sudden I'm free to share without feeling salesy and icky. And the other one is, oh my gosh, this has changed my relationships way beyond my Young Living business, but everywhere.
That's amazing. So, all right. So this kind of feels like the whole picture though, right? Like that's, when you walked through that conversation with me, I'm ready to sign on the dotted line. Show me what you know, right? So how could there be a third step here?
Here's the reality of all that. You know, it's like buying a book of how to and learning the concept. You know, if this was all there was to it, then you would be right. That would be it. I mean, that's all there is to the knowledge aspect of learning this skill of compelling conversations. But the reality of it is, how many of you, with a raise of hands, have learned something new in your life, something that you knew was good for you, and you knew it was going to be life-changing, but for whatever reason, you'd never really implemented it? I know we've all been there.
I better see every hand raised. We have all done this, have we not? There they go. That's right. So let's talk about the third step. This is the final piece, right? Arguably, I don't know, maybe the most important one.
Yes. So it's only a great idea until you put it into practice. Then it's a tool worth its weight in gold or diamonds. So our human nature really is, we have the best intentions when we learn something valuable and we know we're going to go out and do it, but then for a million different reasons, some totally unknown to us, we don't. Whether it's a subconscious self-sabotage, or whether it's fear, or whether it's just too lazy to make change, we've all been there, right? Mm-hmm. And so the accountability piece is where the rubber meets the road. This is where either you're going to implement it and get the benefits of it all, or it's just a great bunch of information in your head that you're not taking advantage of.
So how do you, and guys, we're going to show you now some of the tools that Jacque uses for the accountability piece of this. How is it that you are able to, not just with yourself, but specifically in kind of bringing your team together to apply these things together? What does that look like, right? Because how you've been able to successfully with your team achieve these things and to help them, more importantly, to see these results. How are you making this different from any other bit of information that we might find out there?
Yeah, well, we created this workbook to help them. Well, first of all, we have accountability classes, or not classes, but Zoom calls once a week. And everybody that's working on this with me, if I'm mentoring them with compelling conversations, they join in a Zoom call once a week for an hour where we break it down each week. So we're not going to just throw the whole ball of wax at them and say, go out and do it. So like first week, we'll have a specific, we'll target one specific type of person. So maybe we're going to say, you're going to run a report and contact all the people in your organization that are on Essential Rewards already. And these are the kinds of questions you're going to have to create a compelling conversation with them to help them see, help you discover maybe some other pain points that you might help them resolve through their Young Living account. And they're already using Young Living products, so they're the easiest. So we start with that. And then each week we go with a different assignment and a different category of person. And then we come back the next week and talk about it and, help resolve questions or celebrate successes or whatnot. And then we have this accountability tracking sheet that is going to help them, sort of make notes and keep up with the numbers. So if they run a report in their VO, they're going to write down in week 1 how many people they had on ER and as it changes. And you're going to, make notes of all these things. And this is a really good way to help you see what's going on in your team. And you're going to learn how to reach out to people other than your personally enrolled. You're going to go deep in your organization because they may be signed up under someone who's never mentored them and never had a conversation with them after getting them to sign up. And that's a gold mine in your organization. You have tons of people in your organization potentially who are a literal diamond mine that nobody's mined it. Nobody has talked to these people. And you're going to learn how to do that comfortably, how to introduce yourself, how to make yourself available to them. And each week it's a different assignment. And wow. So you're becoming accountable and you're actually putting that rubber to the road and getting out and and learning how to do this and practicing it, and it becomes more and more and more natural. I've got people in my team that have gone through this with me more than once. You know, they do, you know, when I finish, this goes on for like 6 weeks, and then we'll take a few weeks breaks, and then we'll start another one. And they've joined more than once. And every time they come back, they say, I'm getting more and more comfortable. I learn something new every time. And they just are really, it's becoming their default. It takes time, and it takes a lot of practice.
Awesome. And so what we're looking at right now, so we just showed you the accountability tracker. This is what your team uses over a 6-week period to do those focused, week-long, specific exercises that they're accountable to each other on together. This is an example. You guys are actually going to be getting this one because this does pertain specifically to what Jacque and I were talking about before, about reaching out to your existing members, to use that strategy that she just shared with you. Your existing members who are not on ER, to reach out to them, have those compelling conversations. And guys, even if you don't use, obviously, if you use GetOiling, use your contact manager for this. Or if you really like just putting pen to paper, then certainly use this. But this is an example of how you can kind of track just who you're reaching out to over the course of that week. It's just another one of those tools in the tool belt there. So I want to share before we get over, and I want you guys to be able to ask Jacque lots of questions if you have them, but I want to share with you guys, I thought that there are a couple of things that were particularly, I don't know, compelling to me. And I think that this might resonate with a lot of you guys. I think this was Marie. She said that she always felt like it would be a hit or miss as to whether or not someone would like really connect with her and be willing to let her help them. And because she learned these skills from Jacque, and she's on her team, of course, she can ask an inviting question, listen to the answer, and know how to invite more exploration into a vulnerable area that they might wish to improve on. And she feels confident that in that process, she doesn't come across as salesy, right? Jacque just gave you an example of that with me. It didn't feel salesy at all, and I want to buy whatever she's selling, right? So typically, and Marie is green, and I hope you're here, you're fabulous. The person I'm interacting with trusts me and sees my compassion and allows me to facilitate them in painting a picture that will help them move forward. And she says that this skill serves her well in both her business and her personal life. And there's another one here too. I don't think this was the one about her being a professor, but she's always been excited and willing to share. But she's never felt comfortable with transitioning from her successes to getting people to seeing how the oils could benefit them. And she says, I couldn't help but think that I was coming off as too pushy or salesy. How many of us have worried about that, right? And maybe shied away from sharing because we felt like it was, you know, like we would sound like that. So this is something that these techniques, I hope you guys go out and use them, because this is the difference that they're making. And I fully believe that they'll make a difference for you guys too. And this is the same person. She said, I found myself using these methods in my teaching and advising as a college professor, right? This is not just about conversations about oils. She said, it also makes it so much easier to elevate conversations with my relatives from complaint sessions to constructive dialogues that actually improve the quality and harmony of our communications. Jacque, that's like, who doesn't want that? It's pretty cool. Yeah, so anyway, you get so much great feedback from this. This is just some of the stuff that we've heard from your people. So guys, if you're here live, we're going to put the link in the comments. This is totally free. You can get the workbooks that we just showed you. You heard the example here of Jacque's conversation flow. So definitely click the link. And of course, if you are watching this as a replay, click the link below the video to get that. And if you've got questions for Jacque right now, go ahead and let us know in the Q&A. And we're happy to field those. And by the way, those are going to have to be looked up by someone that's not me, because I can't open the Q&A box while I'm sharing.
There is somebody here that has said, Jacque, could you please use examples, what you would say to people that you enrolled and didn't follow up with?
Okay, so if I had enrolled someone and I didn't follow up with them, I would just, I would actually contact them and apologize. I'd say, you know what, I got so busy, I totally forgot to check in with you and see, you know, how you liked the products, whatever it is they got, whether it's a PSK or something else. Ask them if they got it, okay, apologize that I didn't follow up. And if they said yes, and then I would ask them, you know, so what's your favorite and why? And then the same questions we talked about earlier. Does that answer your question?
Okay, and then Radka, how would you approach people that went inactive from your team in past years? Would you reach out to them again?
Absolutely,
love that.
I would. And the way I would reach out to them is I would say, you know what? Again, I have to apologize that I didn't follow up sooner, but I'm really curious. You had an account with Young Living in the past, and so there must have been something that you liked, and I would just love to know what it was that you liked. I wouldn't ask them why they quit. I would ask them what it was that drew them to Young Living in the first place, and try to ask questions that bring them back to that place in their life. And then maybe ask them, you know, because you just never know why somebody quit. It could be that they didn't, because you didn't follow up, that they just didn't know what to do with the oils. And you reintroduce yourself and apologize and make yourself available to them. Now maybe they will be reinterested, and you're going to promise them and follow through that you are now going to be there for them and help them know what to do and help to solve the pain points that they have.
Okay, and then Susan here asked, is this just for our own teams, or did you say helping other YL people on other teams?
Well, I'm not sure I understand the question. Is what just for your teams? I mean, what I'm offering here, anybody on this call can get this free workbook through the link. I guess you're going to have to be more clear on your question for me to know how to answer that.
Susan, if you want to pop back in and clarify if that didn't answer. And then there's just a lot of people saying they don't see the link yet.
I think Greg put it in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, for those of you who are here live, it's going to be in the chat. So just look over into the chat. And then when we have the recording up, we'll put this below the recording as well.
Okay. Meg says, how would you approach a retail only customer that only purchased 1 or 2 times and are about to go inactive?
Oh, great question. I would contact them and ask them, I might ask them something like, I know that you bought this at retail, and it's been a while, and you don't know what they bought. So I know you bought something at retail, and I'm just curious. I'm kind of doing a poll. You know, I'd love to know, if you don't mind sharing with me, what it is you bought and how it worked out for you. Just to open up a conversation. And if they don't respond, you know, sometimes we just blew it and you got to let it go and just learn to do better in the future. But you can always try to reconnect with people. It's more difficult when you've waited until they're about to go inactive. When I have a retail customer, I always immediately follow up with them and make sure they understand that, first of all, I want to know if they got their product. And if I have followed up right away and they got their product, and then I check in and say, you know, how do you like it? You know, or do you have any questions? Is there any way I can help you? I'd love to know why you're interested in what you're interested in, whatever questions feel appropriate to open up a conversation with them. And then I'm going to make sure they understand that there's a wholesale option. My personal approach is I rarely ever sign anybody up on retail. The only retail customers I get are ones that Young Living put under me because they went online and signed up retail without a sponsor. And I always try to reach out to them immediately and make sure they understand that you know, they do have a wholesale option, because a lot of times they don't even realize there is a wholesale option. Or maybe they just wanted to try one oil. But I need to find those things out. And the only way to find that out is to reach out to them and try to connect and have a conversation. Now, I'll be perfectly honest with you. A lot of times those people do not respond. I call them first, and typically they don't answer, and I leave a message and they don't call me back. So then I email them or text them or both. And a lot of times I don't hear back from them. But I do try, because if you don't try, how will you ever know? And occasionally I have connected with people. I have one gal who signed up with me. I want to say she started out as retail. I got her to switch to wholesale, but she still would never have a conversation with me. And she's now one of my business builders. It took a while, but I dripped on her enough in a nice way, not salesy, not pushy, that she got to know, like, and trust me. Young Living actually placed her under me, and now we have a great relationship. I love her to death. But that doesn't happen unless you connect with people. That's where the relationship part happens.
Okay, so then she follows up with, I actually don't know what they purchased, and I am in contact with them at least one time a week. We are distant friends. She is out of state.
So if you're in contact with them, and when you say in contact, I assume they're responding to your connection. If you're emailing them or whatever, or you're talking to them, I would just ask them, you know, I'm just curious. What's the product you bought and why did you get it? What do you want it for? Try to find out why they wanted it, because that's where you're going to find out what their pain points are. Maybe they were just curious. Maybe they bought a bottle of lavender because they wanted to compare it to something they bought at Walmart. I don't know, but I don't know till I ask. Does that help?
Okay, another person says, how would you approach an elderly person who are on so many prescriptions?
I'm not sure I understand the question. I mean, I'm not trying to get them off their prescriptions, number one. I would approach an elderly person just like I would anybody else. I'm considered elderly by a lot of people. I'm 67. I might talk to someone who's not in the best of health and has to take a lot of medications on just how would you like to have better energy and feel better, and get them on Ninja Red, because I feel safe that Ninja Red's not going to be harmful to anybody, no matter what medications they're on. And so, you know, that would be a great place to start, because who doesn't need antioxidants? I mean, I want to help them feel better. I'm not trying to get them off all their prescriptions. I'm not a doctor. I'm just trying to help them have a better life. And Ninja Red, to me, would be the perfect solution for just about anybody.
That is some mindset level stuff, you guys, right? Like, we're at the end of the day, you get people onto ER, you've got the lifestyle element that really helps to retain and keep people using product and changing their lives. But at the outset, it always, like Jackie said, it's going to start with a conversation. It's going to start with a relationship. And where that's concerned, I mean, I guess, Jackie, would you say this works exactly the same with everyone, no matter the circumstance, right?
Yes. It doesn't matter if they're brand new and never used oils or used anything before, if they're old farts like me and they just don't know where to go or what. It's always the same. It's a conversation to find out what they want. It's not about what you want to give them. It's about what do they want, and you help them find a solution. And the only way you find out what they want is by asking open-ended questions. And here's the one that a lot of people miss: listening. You can ask the right question all day long, but if you don't listen to the answer, and this is something we talk about in our accountability a lot and also in the training, if you're not listening and following what they're saying to lead you to the next question, then you're missing the boat.
Powerful stuff. Do we have some more questions for Jackie?
Yes.
Awesome.
What kind of, here we go. What is your main method of contact? Calling people first or a different kind of thing?
It depends on my relationship with them already. If I'm reaching out to people that I don't have a relationship with, then it's going to be different than if I reach out to people that I know already and I'm already talking to. So if it's somebody I'm already knowing, first question I ask them is, what's your preferred method of me reaching out to you? Because if you can get them to tell you, I prefer text, or I prefer email, or I prefer a phone call, then you want to make notes about that in your virtual office. So when you reach out to them on a care call, you honor what they've already told you. So again, these are questions. These are open-ended questions that you're asking so that you have all the information at your disposal to know how to reach out to them in the future. If I've reached out to somebody deep in my organization and I don't know them, then I'm just going to try a couple different things and ask the same question. Hey, introduce myself. I'm part of your support team. I don't say I'm part of your upline. A lot of people goes, what the heck is that? You know, they didn't get it. 90+% of the people that get in Young Living are product users. They are not MLMers and they don't know those terms. So don't use those terms when you reach out to people that you don't know yet. You want to use terms that they understand. So I don't say I'm your upline platinum, blah, blah, blah. They're like, what the heck? I say, my name's Jackie and I'm part of your Young Living support team. And I would like to know, I want you to know, here's my contact information. Here's how you can reach me. I've been in this business 18 years and I love helping people find solutions. And, you know, I'd love to talk to you and find out if there's anything I can do to help your life be better. And if that appeals to them, then they're going to respond to me. And if it doesn't, you know, there are going to be some people that are going to say, I don't want to talk to you. I don't know you. And you just accept that and move on. But there's also a ton of people out there that are going to write back and say, oh, thank you. You know, I've been wanting to find out how blah, blah, blah. And now you've opened up a conversation. So the only way you're going to find those things out is just to experiment and try. But the best thing to do is ask, what's your preferred method of communication?
Wow, guys, I hope you were paying attention just then. When you're reaching out to people in your organization, I think this definitely applies. I know there's a lot of folks who are with us that that want to send out outreach to people in their entire VO, right? Who are like maybe wanting to do that via text or email from GetOiling. Drop the rank and tell them that you're a part of their Young Living support team. That is so powerful. We get so stuck in our language of insiderness, right? And we forget to listen and pay attention to what they're seeing. That's really good, Jackie.
Yeah.
Yes, that's awesome. And this kind of goes along the same route too of just open-ended questions. This person is saying, how do you handle a prospect that was interested in the business ad, then not interested? Do you reach out to them at a later date?
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry, I missed
Sure.
part.
Yep. How do you handle a prospect that was interested in the business ad, then not interested? Do you reach out to them at a later date?
So they were interested in the business at some time and then became disinterested? Is that what you're saying?
I believe that's what she's saying, yeah.
So if somebody's interested in a business in the beginning because it was an ad, you would have to reach out to them immediately, first of all, and find out why they're interested in it. Sometimes that's just a bunch of spam. You know, ads can take you off on a rabbit trail. That's a whole nother thing. Wouldn't you say, Ashley?
Yep.
I mean, I don't do that personally because a lot of times ads, people respond to an ad and they're really trying to get you to come into their business. So I don't even do that. I just try to find people that connect with me, that relate to me, and I can relate to them and find out what their needs are and help them. So if in that process I meet someone, and someone, as I'm talking to people, they are interested in the business, then I'm going to start asking them open-ended questions about why they're interested in the business. What would they like it to be for them? You know, what's your vision of having a business, and you know, how much money do you want to make? I would find out what their desires are, so that I can see where they want to be and help them get there. But that's a whole process of asking questions. Again, it's all about the questions. And
it all really is. It goes back to, I mean, it goes back to literally the flow of conversations that you've shared. And you guys, this is, I mean, you want to recruit builders. These are the interview questions. And I would say if somebody expressed interest, like if you said, who wants to make money from home or something, and somebody said me, I wouldn't actually count that as interest until you've had a qualifying conversation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're just a me too. They're not quite a lead yet.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
When I first got in this business 18 years ago, I had no upline guidance. And I made the mistake of joining in some MLM neutral, not company, not Young Living, but neutral MLM thing that was selling leads. And I bought a bunch of leads and tried to do that. And I found out really quick and ditched that effort years and years and years ago and when I have team members ask me, do you buy leads? My first answer is hell no. Because they are just people out there trying to get you to join their business, most of them, and they're a waste of time, and they'll make you frustrated and make you want to quit. So just don't even go there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I could back that up. I did that in the very beginning. Cold calling leads. Yeah.
We learn our lessons the hard way and pass them on to our team so they don't fall in the same pit.
That's right. That's right. You know, guys, there are some things that are old school that deserve to be dinosaurs. There are some things that are old school that are tried and true, you know, like the classics. And conversations, specifically in this way that Jackie does them, is one of those things that's tried and true. It will always work no matter what happens. There will never be a way, like there's never going to be a circumstance in which what she's talking about right now is not going to work for you. This will work for your children's 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 children. God willing, this business is still up and running. That many generations from now, what she's teaching right now is going to work for them too. But the whole buying leads thing, that might have worked in the 90s. It doesn't work anymore.
No. And they're still selling them. It's amazing that it's even out there. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't know if anybody on this call is doing the Go for Gold with Martha Crecci and the GetOiling training that goes with that. But I will say that tool, that Go for Gold and all that social media training is a really, really, really powerful way to find new leads. It's not buying leads like we were just talking about, but using that strategy that Martha's teaching to find people that resonate with you and who you are, that can get a conversation started. That's where this comes in. Once you get a connection enough to get a conversation started, if you use these questions to carry that connection, that initial connection, and expand it and make it personal, that's when you're going to have fabulous success.
That is it. That is it. Absolutely. And yeah, shout out to Martha and Go for Gold. If you want to learn how to generate leads, that's a great place to be, to brand yourself and get more interested people. And then, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, and, you know, having co-created that course, like, I think it's the very first lesson I say, you know, every single step of this process serves to create an opportunity for you to have a conversation with someone. All roads lead to the conversation.
And then the conversation has to be this way if you want it to be successful.
That's right. That's right. 100%. Do we have some more questions before we start wrapping up for the day?
Yep. Yes, here. There's another one that says, since language is important, what other options do you suggest to introduce yourself as rather than independent distributor?
Excuse me. you know, I'm not sure I understand. If you're already talking to someone that knows you're in Young Living, then they know you're an independent distributor. If you're talking about you're at a networking group and people don't know who you are, then you know, you have to come up with how you want to introduce yourself, and that's going to be unique to you. I don't ever call myself an independent distributor except for on labels that are required on websites or whatever. I don't call myself anything. I just talk to people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's just a lot of, you know, there's some little love here. Thank you. I'm definitely going to use this with my one and only personally enrolled member to help her realize ER is a great program. Yes.
Wonderful.
Another one that says, I was with a friend yesterday who did that, reconnected with her team and said she was part of their team and has a new sign up and someone else on ER.
Wow.
Super.
And then another person saying, thank you, very good answers. Love the mentoring and working together. So
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So
to sum it all up, I would just say, you know, you need to learn how to talk to people with open-ended questions and listen to the answers so that their answer leads you to your next question. If you go into a conversation with all your questions in your mind of what you want to get across, you're not listening. You want a question that starts the conversation, and from there you let them lead you.
Oh, that's so important, you guys. This is, I mean, and this is really, Jacque, this is a practice, right? This isn't something that, like, you're going to download Jacque's sheets and you're going to be perfect at this tomorrow, right?
No, I've got people in my group that they've been through it twice and they're going a third time and they're saying, oh, the first time through, I got it on an intellectual level. And then after the accountability piece, I started to practice it and got a little more comfortable. Second time through, I'm really starting to understand it and it's becoming more of my default. So it takes a lot of practice and a lot of supervision on the accountability piece for it to really work in the way that I know it can work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can read it and it can make logical sense, but it's really that application of knowledge that creates the wisdom that makes this something that you can go to and get done indefinitely. Fantastic. Is there anybody actually, by the way, since we're here, is there anybody on Jackie's team that's been through her Rank Up Intensive that maybe quick show of hands if you're here, and maybe leave a comment if you're here, and, you know, let everybody know, you know, how you've been able to succeed more and maybe anything that's happened for you. I think there was one in particular, Jacque, you were telling me that somebody had someone that they were just kind of dripping on for like, I don't know, 6 months or longer. And then like there was just an immediate shift when they had one of these conversations, right? How did that go?
Yeah, she told me, I think it was in a paragraph that she wrote to me, and she said that she'd been talking to this person for like 6 months, and she in another conversation, she now focused on these compelling questions and listening for the answer, and she got them signed up. It was like a complete shift, total turnaround, because it totally shifted everything, because she's no longer pushing products and sales on people. She's talking to them, finding out their needs, helping them discover, paint that picture of how badly that's affecting their life and how much better their life would look if they were able to turn that around. And now they want to know exactly what she has. Whereas before she was just saying, well, you know, you need this and this and this. And they were like, eh. Well, you got to paint the picture. That's like the transition point in there. And that's where people, they skip that part. They ask those open-ended questions and then they start offering solutions. That's not where we're going here. You got to do the paint the picture part before you start offering, and help them, you know, revisit in their mind and in their awareness just how bad it is and how much better it could be. Yeah. Then they want to know. If I could do that for you, would you like to know? Well, yeah, tell me. Now they've asked you.
That's amazing. That's amazing. All right. So if we've got our Jackie questions out of the way, if anybody, I don't know if anyone put any, I need help with other things, questions in there. Amanda, was there anything else? Are we going to wrap it up there?
There's still a few here that like, what kind of follow-up will we get after downloading the workbook? I'm not quite sure.
Well, so let's see. So when they get the workbook, I think Jackie has a brief video, and then of course I think we've gone over here, really kind of the nuts and bolts of how to use those workbook pieces, but you're going to get that from Jackie directly, and you'll be able to reach back out to her with any questions that you have.
Somebody else, would you put on your business card a title like independent distributor, or would you leave that off?
It depends. If I'm making a Young Living business card, yes, I would put it on there, but I don't do that anymore. I really want to be just a person and my contact information on there. So now my business cards, I have different ones, and I have ones that if somebody is specifically asking me about Young Living, I give them a Young Living business card. If somebody just wants, I have also Let's Be Friends cards. Martha was talking about those the other day, and I have those that I did a while back, and they are just, here's my info. Because if I don't want them to feel like I'm a Young Living person trying to sell them a Young Living product, I don't want to give them a Young Living business card. Yep. But I have different cards, and I carry them all in my purse so that I choose the card to give them based on what our relationship is at this point. If that makes sense.
I can't recommend enough. Martha and I did a live in the Go for Gold student group, and we were talking about those Let's Be Friends cards. That's what she uses as well, and I think generally speaking, even if you are, well, I don't know, I think the exception might be like Laura, who did the training a couple weeks ago on networking. Hers, in her situation, if you are specifically going to BNIs and chamber groups and stuff like that, and you want to show up and be the go-to for Young Living in your community, and you want everybody to know that, there's definitely a place for having Young Living on your card. But if you're just somebody that's like out and about, like just doing your thing, it's better to have people discover Young Living through conversations with you than by you having the name next to your face on the card. Because like Jackie said, I mean, there's sort of, I don't know, there can kind of be a resistance from people, right? Like if they meet you in a context and they think that context is going to involve you eventually trying to sell them something, that kind of puts walls up sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can avoid those by using a Let's Be Friends card, which was kind of a new thing to me. The Japanese have been doing it forever. It's called Meishi, and people just have them, and it's just your name and your contact info. I think you should put your picture on it, but that's a whole other story. Cool. Do we have any more?
There's just one here that says, Marie, I participate in Rank Up Intensive. I just feel more confident in reaching out, and I have meaningful conversations with people. I listen to them as they paint a picture, then I mirror it back to them, and they know I am getting it. And then they realize I may be able to help them. Wow.
Guys, if you've ever wondered how you can actually get through to people, this is the magic stuff that makes it happen. All right, so if that's the last question, Jackie, we're gonna give it to you to kind of wrap it all up, and we'll see everybody on the the next training.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that Marie mentioned Rank Up Intensive. That's what I call my training with my team members that I've been doing, and so she's one of the ones that's been through it, and that's what she was referring to.
Yeah, so she knows these workbooks you guys are getting very well. By the way, that link is in the chat, and it will be below the recording of this video. Yeah, you want anything else there, Jackie, just to tie it all up? Are we good?
Yeah, we're good. Vera said her workbook came, but it was in her spam. So check your spam folder if you click to get the free workbook.
Mm-hmm.
And awesome. I just appreciate the opportunity to talk to you guys today. It's been fun. And thank you so much, GetOiling and Ashley and Greg and Amanda and everybody. You guys are amazing.
Well, we think the same of you, and we appreciate you
Yes.
being here.
Yeah, thanks for being on today.
Yeah.
And thank you everyone for joining and asking all of these great questions. And we look forward to seeing you all on a future work session. Be sure and grab Jackie's workbook and the links, and head over to getoiling.com/weekly work session if you watch this as a recording, to make sure that you are able to join us live, get the replays and all the kind of special goodies that we send out to you guys. We look forward to seeing you next week, and we'll talk soon. Bye guys.
Bye.